is what I do with all the time. Camera going out. There's no backup.
I hope that's saved.
Half of the videos that I have never even put together to be done. I just talk to myself most of the time. But I do. It's like instead of paying a counselor $150 an hour, I just talk to myself. And
I should do that. I should do that more often, because when I talk to myself, it's in my head, and you know, that's just not.
But I'm starting to see, like, you know, I look at some of these people who have YouTube channels and they're making millions of dollars and they're funny or they're this, and I'm going, it's not even that funny. Like, but
you're watching it.
But I'm watching it,
moment,
and they're getting money and they're making money. Yeah. So I'm like, well, I should just, you know, 20 years ago I said, if I had a film crew to follow me around all day, every day for
reality shows,
like 6 months, I just think that would be, I do think people would go, oh, I like that guy, or well, that guy's an idiot.
Well, you do know how to tell a story, I will say, you know, definitely know how to do that.
But anyway, my wife gets on me because I, like, someone gives me bad customer service, right? Like, we went to Boston, right? And she's like, oh, you want to eat here? And I'm like, I'm just hungry, honey, just whatever, you pick it, right? So we walk in, and they're asking, you know, they give me the menu, and what do you want to eat, and, right? All of a sudden, they bring this little fire thing, and there's, like, water boiling, and I'm like, what the? And she's like, no, it's a fondue restaurant. You got to cook it yourself. And I'm like, I literally got up, Mario, I got up, and I go, I'm paying you to cook it? Like, what? I literally got up and I was like, honey, we're leaving. And she's like, well, you already drank a Coke. I go, ma'am, how much is the Coke? Like, because before the food, and I was like, I got it, because she's bringing a fire and it's like a bowl, and I'm like, what is this? And she's like, oh, we got to cook it. I'm like,
whoever came up with that idea is a genius. I don't want to cook. I want to own a restaurant. Fondue.
Well, you know, all restaurant owners are geniuses, because somehow our society has got caught up into this thing that instead of being paid by the owner, the customers somehow have to pay the salaries of the waiters, waitresses, and bartenders. And I was a waiter and I wasn't a waitress. I was a waiter, unless that one time I dressed up with the stockings and the makeup.
What you do on the weekends is not important.
But I always thought, I was like, wait, I got to rely on somebody else. So if my boss makes a crappy meal in the back, or the guy he pays, right, or the guy that my tips go to pay does a crappy job, then the server gets penalized. No. Listen, I don't know how we got into this. If I could start a trend right now, one of my pet peeves is, if I became governor, you got to pay everybody, including waiters, waitresses, anyone who does that. The owner, that needs to be built into the price, so that everyone can make enough profit. It shouldn't be extra. There's no, I don't even get the concept. But do I tip? I do tip, but I grunt as I do it.
So that's how it is in a lot of your international countries. Like, you know, I have family in Poland. I've been in Poland, and in Poland it's not customary to tip your waiter or waitress, because they get a salary. In a lot of places they pay very well. So, you know, being, you know, obviously coming in back to the country I was born in is a little different than living there all my life. So I was a foreigner in my own country, and basically, you know, I was tipping these waitresses and waiters, and they're looking at me like I got 3 heads. And, you know, what are you doing?
Okay, so you just did the hand motion with the hand, right? So I'm going to tell you guys a story that you've never heard before. It's first time with Mario. Plug your thing real quick.
Wait, which one?
What's your video thing? The Media Kraken.
Oh, the Media Kraken. Yes. So the Media Kraken, that's my media company. It's the job I own. And do all kinds of stuff. Videos, photos, web, graphics, all your media needs.
And he's awesome at it.
At the Media Kraken on Instagram, or themediakraken.com.
So going into this story, I leave Alabama, I go back home, I'm going to a community college, and I get a job as a bouncer at a strip club in Nassau County in New York. And of course, like any young guy, I'm like, Ooh, got a job at the strip
Got a
club.
job at the
Free
strip-
admission and I don't have to tip. Right? I gotta tell you, after 20 minutes of just constantly seeing these ladies dance, and there's a lot of pretty girls, it was a high-end strip club, I was bored. First, because I just had to stand in place like I was in timeout. But this is the story that kicks. I'm forced to look at the boobs, right? Forced to look at the boobs.
They're forced.
So I look over, and there's a older Asian gentleman dressed very nicely, and he's sitting at a bar talking to one of the dancers, and he's holding in his hand a stack. Now, it was singles, right? It's not like the big ballers of today where people are 5, 10s, 20s, 100s. But he was ordering $300 like every couple of minutes from the bartender, right? He's like, give me another 300, right? So I'm sitting there now, I'm watching and making sure no fights and the guys don't touch the girls and all this. And all the girl's doing, right? You got to visualize this. She's a very petite young woman. She's got dark hair. Nope, sorry, I crossed that out. My memory's off. She had blondish hair. She had stockings on, with the little, the things that go to it, the straps, and from the lingerie, right? I don't know. It's like
backless panties.
No, just the little the straps holds up the pantyhose or whatever, right? So thigh highs or whatever they're called, right?
Stays.
And she's got this like sexy lingerie on, and very revealing and all that, right? Her leg is folded, her shoe is off, and her shoe is touching his leg, right? And she's like, like she's touching him. While she's touching him with her left hand, right? She's like, oh, you're so funny, Mr. Miyagi, whatever. Now, I'm not a racist, but like, whatever. My wife's Asian. So, older gentleman, very like nice suit, probably a $3,000 suit. Her right hand is just palm like this, just like she's talking like, oh, hey, And he is just taking, now both of his hands are occupying his money. He's holding the stack in his hand. And he's like, yeah, so, I was on this trip, and he's handing, it's just a continuous motion. Like, it's not fast, it's not, it's just, okay, yeah, also, what's your favorite color? Oh, mine's blue. Oh, yours is blue. Oh, my goodness, Mr. Miyagi, yours is blue, too. Okay, oh, now what, oh, Paradise, you are Paradise, whatever her name was, right? And he sat there for like 5 hours. This chick didn't even get up to dance. I don't know what the amount was, 2, 3, 4,000. I mean, I don't know how quick does $200 go. This is the motion, guys, and it's in my brain, and this is from 90s. This is all he's doing, and he's talking to her. Her toes touching his calf, and then she's like, oh, you see, with her other hand, and then every once in a while, when her hand, when it transferred from hand to hand, she would take it, grab a rubber band, go like this, and then pull out a bag and dump it into a bag.
Bank it. That's incredible. I mean, I know that some men crave a lot of attention and can't get it, but they have money. I was recently at a wedding doing a photo shoot there, or shooting the wedding, and there was a gentleman who couldn't dance, had a very beautiful companion with her that could dance. And she was on the dance floor. You could tell he was getting a little antsy about it, didn't really like it, but that was her. But what he did have was a lot of money and a wad of cash, and he comes up to the DJ and he says, and to me, because I was next to him, he puts this wad of cash on the little display board there that we had, and this is yours if you play something slow, something like that. And obviously he was drunk, he didn't really mean it, so we're like, oh, no, don't worry about it, you take your money, we're not taking whatever was there. But all I could see is $100 bills. I don't know what else was in the middle.
Oh, jeez.
And you could tell that you know, he was short, looked like Napoleon complex. He was shorter than I am. I'm 5'7". And this lady he was with just was having a good old time and just felt uncomfortable. So, you know, could have been the same situation.
Well, he just wanted to get closer to her heart, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, if you can slow dance, right, we can all, like,
Sure,
slow
we
dance,
could all
you know?
participate. You know, we just all want to participate.
Oh, man, just you talking about the dancing and not being able to dance, it brings me back to 7th grade. And my best friend, Cliff, right? I met Cliff because apparently he was dating the girl that I sent the message to, do you like me, yes or no? And then
check.
Our Metro, yeah, it was a check to no. I didn't even get the thing back, right? Because she was dating Cliff. And then all of a sudden my friend Tom, who we're all friends to this day, Tom goes, hey, Cliff wants to fight you. I'm like, who's Cliff? He's like, that's the girl that's dating Gina. And I go, Gina's got a boyfriend? He goes, yeah. And I was like, is he tough? He goes, I still remember this. This is 7th grade, guys. 7th grade, section 705 in Reed Middle High School, middle junior high. And he's like, pretty tough. And I was like, oh, he is? Right? So, and at that time, I was not the fighter in 7th grade. I was nervous, and that's when people are beating me up and stuff. So I was like, oh, man. So he's like, Cliff wants to fight you, at the lockers between periods or after school or something. And this kid comes over to me and he goes, hey man, you sent a note to my girlfriend? And I was like, yeah, dude, like, she's really good looking. I didn't know she had I didn't know she had a boyfriend. Like I said, like I was, very
honest.
humble guy. Like, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have sent it. He's like, really? And I go, yeah. He goes, all right, cool, that's cool. We don't have to fight. And we shook hands. And then that weekend we hung out and we became like best friends all through junior high and high school. Cliff's a dentist in East Long Island. I can't think of it. Cliff Bainon, B-A-Y-N-O-N. So Dr. Bainon. If you need a root canal, if you need whatever, check him out, because
if you got the teeth knocked out of your mouth, check him out.
He was always a smart kid. He was in section 701. That's like the geniuses where I grew up in the hood, right? So I was in 705 where they were like, and then it went up to like 740 or something. So that's like the little bus, right? But I was in 705. After that year, I got moved to 806 because 8th grade, so I got stupider, so I went up, and Cliff was 701. So Cliff was the guy that motivated me to be an attorney, because I was like, if Cliff can be a dentist, my goodness. Like I hadn't even finished like a semester of college, and he was already graduating and going to dental school. And he's like, Rod, you can do it. And I'll never forget you, Cliff, if you watch this video, because I know you messaged me not too long ago that you tell the crazy stories about you and I growing up to your kids. Never forget you, man. I love you for doing that and giving me the confidence to do something that I was scared to do, and that was to go to graduate school. So
and this is why you should start a podcast. Bring Cliff on. We can even do it remotely.
I got so many.
I know you got a lot of projects going.
I've had so many blessings, man. I've been fortunate enough to just have certain people in my life that I don't, once in a blue moon, Cliff and I will text on Facebook, right? We don't talk, we don't see each other, but I love him like I did in high school. Like, he's my boy, and he'll be my boy forever.
Yeah, I got friends like that from high school. Same. Yeah.
And you don't forget. You shouldn't forget moments and times in history that you've had with other people, right? We have good times, we have bad times, and life's a struggle, right? No one's got the perfect life, although it may be portrayed that way online or YouTube or in the movies or whatever, but none of us do. And I think when you look at Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case recently, it kind of tells you, right? Money doesn't bring happiness, guys. So, but anyway, yeah, man, that was the stripper, Cliff convincing me. Yeah, man, I can talk.
And cut.